Hey guys, welcome back to Steve's Small Engine Saloon. I got a really cool product review and demo for you today. I have never used one of these in my life. We're going to test it out together today. I got a Stihl 2-in-1 chainsaw chain sharpener. Introductory beverage of the day today is Budweiser. Guys, I have got 6 comments now on my individual videos in my channel asking for this review and do a demonstration on this. I figured to myself, you know, if 6 of you actually took the time to type in a comment to me asking for this review, there's a hell of a lot more of you guys out there that actually want to see this too. So here we are. I told that to Scott Clark from Stihl Canada Limited, and he said, no problem, I'll send you one of those sharpeners, do a demo and a review for your viewers, and keep the sharpener when you're done. Yoink! Thanks very much, Scott. Love it. I do have another video already made on my channel. I'll put a little link up here in that I button in the top right corner of your screen there. Click on that, go back to that, and it's going to show you a lot of in-depth stuff. It's like 19 minutes long. It takes you through all the ins and outs of actually sharpening a chain. Go see that one if you want to. Right now for today though, we're just going to actually try this sharpener out and see how it works on my little MS230 Stihl chainsaw right here. So let's start with the instructions that come with this sharpener. Right in that little pouch, the instructions that come with it, I think, are extremely clear. You know what I love about this? There's no words on it. It's like pictogram. They don't have to print out 100 of these for each individual language. No matter what language you speak, you can figure it out from this. I think they're very clear. I'm going to take a quick 2-3 second video of this close up as I can. If you guys want to see the instructions, just get ready to hit your pause button. When you see that come up, hit your pause button, look at it all you want, and then unpause it and continue on with the video. So let's take a close look at this thing then. You pick that up. This thing's heavy. I was quite surprised when I picked it up. I can tell by picking it up just from the weight of it that it's not just a cheap piece of plastic. It's going to break on you and wear out in like a year from now. This feels like a good quality piece of equipment right here. You open up one side right here. One little end on there opens up like a trap door. That's for getting your files in and out. Let's see what happens. Let's pull those files out of there and see what this looks like with no files. The reason that you do this is because your files will wear out after time. And you're going to replace the files. They're just standard files. They're like these little round files right here. They're like, you know, in North America, I think they cost like $2 each. They're cheap to replace. You got your square file for the rakers and then another round file for when you reverse that thing. Here's what it looks like when there's no files in it. That is the jig sharpener itself with no files in it. There's 4 little square rails on here that are part of that. Those rails are made to ride on the 2 teeth, the front tooth and the back tooth as you're cutting it, to keep the depth of your the files at the right height. So you're not writing too high, you're not writing too low. So the files that actually go in there, you got 2 round ones and you got the square one on there. The 2 round ones file your cutter tooth, and the square file that you see in there lowers your depth gauge at the same time. That's why they call it a 2-in-1 sharpener. Even in the description, it says right in there, right on the instructions, it says resharpens cutter and lowers depth gauge in a single operation. That's why it's called a 2-in-1 sharpener. So I do have a link in my description too, the description that's at the beginning of this video. I got a link in there for you to go back and buy one of these if you want to. Before you buy one of these though, guys, you have to make sure you're ordering the right one. There are different sizes of these things. They have different sizes of files in them, and the little space, these things are spaced a little different and whatnot. Make sure you buy the right one. You need to know what pitch your chain is. Pitch, if you don't know what pitch your chain is, look at the side of your bar. Like this one right here, it says right there, 325. Right on the side of your bar. That's the pitch of that chain on my chainsaw right now. So you're going to see that there's some 3/8 ones out there, like full-size 3/8. You're going to see some that say 3/8 Pico or low-profile chain. Just make sure you're buying the right one. I'd hate for you guys to order one and then you go, oh, I got the wrong one. You got to send it back and all that stuff. All right, back to the instructions now. Step number 1 is showing you that you need to tension your chain properly. If you don't know how to tension your chain properly, I also have another video on my channel. I'll put a link up here again in that I button, how to tension your chain properly. It's important that you do that because your chain can tip backwards and all that stuff. So check that out. Tension your chain properly if you don't know how. Moving on to step number 2. We need to have some way to clamp this thing. It's way easier for you to actually clamp this in. Right in the instructions, it actually shows a bench vise. Pinch it in a bench vise so you can do this using 2 hands. This thing is made to use with 2 hands. Works way better. Yes, you can do it with 1 hand if you're out in the bush cutting firewood. Open your tailgate of your truck, throw that on your tailgate. You got no way of clamping it. You can do this with 1 hand. It's just it's kind of awkward and everything. If you're gonna do that, put a rag or something over that when you're holding that. Obviously, best case scenario, use a leather glove. Hold on to the bar and chain with your glove, and you can actually do that like that with 1 hand if you want to. Way easier with 2 hands in a bench vise. Step 3 and 4 on those instructions actually show you to do this. They say get like 3 teeth lined up, ready to go, and then put your chain brake on to lock that chain so it won't move. I would suggest you're going to just save some time and save a little bit of hassle here. Try it with no chain brake on. Just start going on there. And if your chain starts slipping and starts moving on you, well then yeah, click your chain brake on, lock it so you can do it easier. I don't really think it's going to be necessary, but give it a shot anyway. Okay, I got all my files back in that jig. It's ready to go, ready to rock. Now there's 2 things that you got to worry about. There's 2 different angles that you got to worry about here. There's one, this is a real easy one right here. What you want to do when you have that sharpener on there, you want it flat. It's going to be a 90 degree from your bar over to the sharpener like that. You don't want it tipped down like this. You don't want it tipped down like this. You want it completely flat. I hope you can see that. That's angle number 1. That's how you want to keep it. The other angle is these sharpeners are actually made for 30 degrees. You can do 25, 30, 35 degrees. This one is made for right in between the 2. 30 degrees. This is how you do it. When you put this on top of your chain to start sharpening it, there's an arrow. You want to make sure that arrow is always pointed away from you. You got 4 different indicators where your angle is on this. The edge of the handle itself is 30 degrees. Then you got these 2 little marks right here, also shows you 30 degrees. Those ones there, 30 degrees, and that one, oh, again, 30 degrees. So you hold that so those angles are completely even and right in line with your bar, and you know you have that angle correct now. You set that in there, and the arrow is pointed away from you, the angle's proper, and you can start sharpening like that. So the idea is, you get that set up, you know you're going the right way, you sharpen all of the left hand teeth, or all the right hand teeth, whichever one you start with first. You do them all, you go around and around your chain until they're all done, and there's no more damage left on the teeth. They look sharp to you, it's probably good. Then you flip the thing around in your vise, and you flip that sharpener over, and you do the other side of the teeth. We're gonna go put this in my bench vise right now, and we're gonna give her on this, and we're gonna sharpen it right now. Now let's look at these chains. I just took the chain off after I sharpened it. I'm going to put it side by side with a brand new chain, and we're going to see what the difference is here. So look at that. Your top one right there is the brand new chain. This chain has never been used. And the one below it is the one I just sharpened. If you see those cutter teeth, look at those cutter teeth. The hook is the same. The distance between the top of the cutter and the depth gauge, the raker, is exactly the same depth. It looks exactly like a brand new chain, except the tooth is a little shorter, obviously, because we had to cut some of that off. We had to file some of that off. It looks exactly like a new chain to me. Okay, it looks good. We're going to take this thing back out. I'm going to put it back on my chainsaw. We're going to go on a field trip. I got some logs out the back here. We're going to cut with that thing, and we're going to see how well it cuts. We're going to look at the chips coming off of that thing. We're going to see how this does. Part of the review, guys. Let's go. Well, what can I say? You guys just watch that cutting. As far as I can see, honestly guys, that cuts like a brand new chain. I can't see any difference. It cut just as fast as a brand new chain. You saw the chips coming off that. They look like the same size chips as coming off of a brand new chain. I gotta say, I am really impressed with this. I think that it's honestly worth every penny of what you're gonna pay for having one of these. That's probably the easiest filing job I've ever done. There's nothing else on the market that I've ever tried that makes your chain cut like a brand new chain, and it makes it that easy. This thing is a high quality apparatus right here. I think that's gonna last you for years and years and years. You just replace the files when the files get dull. I do gotta bring this up as a part of my review though. I was talking to Scott Clark and Carl Wallace, both from Stihl Canada Limited, this morning. They brought it to my attention that these are actually designed for full house chain. They work with skip tooth chain, but they're actually designed for full house. I'm going to show you really quickly here what I mean by that. If you look at this top one right here is what we call, it's commonly known as a skip tooth chain. You have a cutter, and then you have two joiner links, and then another cutter. This one down here on the bottom, you have a cutter and one joiner link, and then another cutter. So they're designed for full house chain because those little rails right there are spaced at the right spacing, so each one of those little square guides on there rides on top of the two teeth. If you try to use that on a skip tooth chain, the cutters are spaced too far apart, so one of the rails doesn't actually ride on that front tooth. On a full house chain, it fits perfectly flat. You see how that's perfectly flat? On a skip tooth chain, it's not riding on the front tooth, so it just tips forward a little bit, like that. All you have to do on a skip tooth chain is just manually hold it level like that, and you can file a skip tooth chain and it works just as good as long as you're conscious of that it's not riding on that front tooth. So I hope I helped you guys out again. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that wanted to know that. Share this video with your friends. There's a lot more people out there that want to see how one of these things work. I would say buy one of these in a second. I honestly would. Not just because I got a free one either. I honestly believe this is an awesome product. Subscribe to my channel, guys, if you haven't already. And like the video, give me that thumbs up button. That would be awesome. And till the next time, I'm going to show you how to repair something on the next video again. Till then, Steve out.